Hi, welcome to another video. I have just gone through a load of my art supplies and came across this old scrapbook that I must have got about, I don't know, 10-15 years ago. And what I did was on each page I did some sort of background, just using stencils or mostly stencils, but on the jelly plate or just ink pads. And I just filled up the whole thing with all kinds of colours and patterns and things, and then didn't do anything else with it. And like I said, this must have been many years ago when I first got my jelly plate, I think, a long time ago. And I think the idea was I was just going to sort of get something down on the white paper just as a start, but never actually did anything else with it. So I thought, why not do something with it now? Better late than never, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to do today. I think I'm going to do, where was it? Was this one here. So I'm going to use this page. So it's a lime green kind of colour already. So I found a colour palette, if you can see that. It doesn't come out too well on the screen, does it? Okay, there we go. So I've got lots of different mediums here in those 5 colours. So you've got a darker green, lime green, with a light blue, a bluey grey, and then a bright pink. So I'm going to use those. I've got some white as well. I might use, I'm not sure, I might use white. I quite like white to brighten it up, but we'll see how it goes. And I might just use a normal pencil as well. So that's what it looks like to start with. See that? And yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do other than use those colours. So we'll see what happens.